great Braylon Edwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Monday show, February 10th, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. If you're watching on X, good afternoon to you. And Braylon Edwards wearing the horse's head, teal, 100%. Grand Hill All-Star game.
100, hey, a little more city. What you know about that, man?
Absolutely. Well, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, man. It's a beautiful day outside. Glad to be here. Super Bowl, we'll talk about that. A bit of a snooze fest.
Snooze.
But, Ryan, Saturday night.
Okay.
Had an event. And as I say hello to Maz, Ricky, and Pete. Saturday night I had an event up in Bay City. It was an amazing group of people. Coleman High School. They do their annual fundraiser every year where they bid on items, and they bring a player. Last year was Herman Moore. A couple years ago it was our very own Darren McCarty. They've had Rip Hamilton, so they've had players. But it was a fun time. It was a really good group of people, man. I sat down and shared in some great stories, and I enjoyed them. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. Great moments and great memories. But when I originally signed on for this, Maz and Ryan, I didn't sign on for a snowstorm. I didn't sign on for a blizzard. And when I was driving back on Saturday night from the event, bad roads, terrible roads, and there was an accident. Pete, put the video up.
You got it, buddy.
And Ryan, look at these cars. We sat in this traffic about an hour and 45 minutes. So this is right when they let us go. So this is the first car, completely destroyed from the back.
Pause.
100%. Second car.
Dang.
Third car, front and back.
Oh,
Man.
Another car over there in the ditch.
and hopefully there were no injuries.
Well, that's the thing about it. When we were in line, we never saw the ambulance truck, so I'm assuming that the accident was maybe 45 to an hour ahead of me. So, but as I know, nobody was injured, so that's a good thing. And literally, 45 minutes later, I could have been a part of that. So I said, God is good, man. I'm excited to be here.
And so is Tom Masway. Good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, fellas. It's Super Monday, I guess you can call it. Super Monday. Well, I'll tell you, it's the Super Bowl. As usual, it really doesn't live up to its name. And this was another one. Although it was really great to see a team that good take apart a two-time champion. There will be no three-peat. I could hear Pat Summerall telling John Madden back in '91 when the Giants beat the 49ers. There will be no three-peat. This is as far as a two-time champion has gone to try to win the third Super Bowl, and it ain't happening, folks. It's too hard.
It is very difficult, and I thought the game itself really highlighted and perfectly encompassed what this season was for me. I thought this was a boring football season.
Yep.
From beginning to end.
I like it.
And that's just what it was. Outside of the Lions and some drama, there was some drama in the NFC North. Yeah. Obviously, the Week 18 Lions in Minnesota. But there was very little drama this entire season.
Very few great games.
Very few of them. Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Seriously.
About right.
And here we go, Bray. The game was a dud. And also, you know, I thought that being in Detroit, we were a little down on this Super Bowl matchup to begin with. We were down on it. I was at Somerset on Saturday with the family, and Luke and I basically sit on the bench. He plays on my phone, and Nicole and Lydia go and they shop.
Sounds about
but
right.
that's basically what happens. And the guy sitting across from us, we're talking about the Super Bowl, and how one guy, I'm not even watching. I have no interest.
Yeah.
This Super Bowl matchup had very little intrigue, very little interest, and I think football fans as a whole, and whether we here in Detroit feel like that, or if it was, I think you could tell how few people really cared about this Super Bowl based on the ticket prices. Ticket prices are everything to me. That tells you what the demand is like. 10 minutes before the Super Bowl, you could get in for $1,500.
Yep.
Last year, the get-in price was $7,500.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know about the demand of this Super Bowl. And again, the game itself outside of 3 or 4 plays, really kind of was in line with that.
Philly fans took it over too. Congrats to them. That was a home game for the Eagles.
Matt, you can go ahead. I'll let you go. I'm still kind of configuring what I want to say.
I'm telling you, man, that was a bashing. A bashing. That was one team that is way better than the other team. And it shows you guys. It shows you. That's how you win a Super Bowl. You can win with a great offense, but if you have a pass rush and you got some guys in the secondary like they got, good young people that they've drafted, Howie Roseman, by far executive of the year. You see that pass rush? And do you see that offensive line? And I know our offensive line's good. Not as good as that, but good. That pass rush is second to none. And Mahomes, it don't matter if Brady was there. It don't matter. Nobody was getting out of their clutches yesterday. Hats off to the Eagles. They got Jalen Carter, and they put pieces around him, and they built it the right way. Braylon, you on the money from day one. On the money.
Before I get to saying I told you so, just
by the way,
about,
I called Jalen Hurts for MVP, remember?
100%. And remember I told you the path for them to win, it wasn't going to be Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
I said it was going to be Devontae Smith. It'd be Jalen Hurts on the ground and through the air. Just looking at the Chiefs, the Eagles were allowed to do this because there was nobody on that offense that the Eagles feared. In terms of not Patrick Mahomes. Take him out the equation. They didn't fear the running game. They didn't fear the running backs. They didn't fear an old Travis Kelce who looked old yesterday. They didn't fear DeAndre Hopkins who looked old yesterday. They didn't fear Juju Smith-Schuster. They were allowed to line up in 4 because they knew they could check the guys behind it. There was nowhere for Mahomes to throw. And when Mahomes saw early in that Super Bowl that the refs were not going to be on his side because he got hit early twice, and it looked like, oh, here we go. They're going to start calling it. When they didn't call it, Mahomes was the first time I've ever seen him look rattled. Like, he looked actually rattled. One thing I learned about this game, and I'll let you slide because there's a lot to talk about. We got to stop having that conversation on who's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right now we do.
Yeah, for a while. And the reason why, Maz, you always said it's the duration of the thing. I was one of the guys that said, well, why can't we have the conversation now? In all of Brady's losses, I have never seen him rattled. And I understand that the defensive line did a great job. So credit, because there was nowhere to go for Patrick Mahomes for the majority of the game. But he looked rattled. He didn't look like someone that could be in that conversation. I've never seen that from Tom Brady. So I just put that conversation on the back burner.
I want to put it simple. This is simple. Kansas City was there because of Patrick Mahomes, and they had a pretty good defense. They don't have talent on offense. They do not have talent on offense. It's Mahomes and a bunch of nobodies, with Kelce being obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. Other than that, who do they have? Rashee Rice?
The same thing that won them the Super Bowl is the same thing that cost them. There's nobody.
No.
Like
They ran out.
Every year since Tyreek left, and they won without Tyreek, so credit. But every year it's, oh, we'll plug this wide receiver, or here's Sammy Watkins, or here's Juju Smith-Schuster, or we'll pick up DeAndre Hopkins, or you know what, we'll get MVS from Green Bay. Every year is a patchwork because you're like, well, we got 15 can figure it out. You have to have some talent. Look at the other side of that ball. A.J. Brown. The Eagles went and traded for it and bring it to be a playmaker. Devontae Smith. They drafted a guy who's 13. He's no lower than the 13th best wide receiver in the NFL. You got those two. And you
First
got
Alabama guy to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Fourth guy to win
that?
the Heisman
Crazy.
National Championship and Super Bowl. Desmond Howard being one of those guys, Reggie Bush the other, and Jim Plunkett. But you got to have some guys. You got to have some horses. And they didn't have any horses yesterday and in those moments.
Adam Morency, $5. If you want to get in the super chat as well, we invite you to jump on in. $5. We'll read your comments. $20 for a topic of your choice to be covered. $50. You want to be a guest? Maz will send you a VMix link, and you could be a video guest on our program. $500 will get you 15 minutes in studio in the Maz chair on a date of your choosing. Want to point that out as well. But this game to me was a couple of things. First and foremost, Kansas City was on borrowed time all year long. People were picking Baltimore. People were picking Buffalo. Nobody was really picking Kansas City because nobody really bought into how good Kansas City was. I think that's evident yesterday. And also, the Philadelphia defense.
It's awesome.
It suffocated Patrick Mahomes. It absolutely suffocated them. And if you want to talk about it now, we can talk about it now. I tweeted out during the game that this is clear that the Detroit Lions have to go out and get Myles Garrett. Clear that they have to get Myles Garrett. There is no player, now is Max Crosby available? Sure. But there is no player available in this draft. There is no player available in free agency. There is no player available anywhere that would have the amount of impact that a Myles Garrett would have on this team. And I relate everything back to the Lions. And by the way, I did feel a little bit better watching this Super Bowl yesterday because I don't believe the Detroit Lions would have beaten Philadelphia.
Not this year.
I don't believe
Not
they
the
would
way
have.
they had no one left.
No, I don't believe they would have.
If they had all their guys, they could play with anybody.
And again, it's because of their defense, though.
Yes.
It's because I think Jared Goff would have been just murdered back there. And I know the Lions' offensive line is really good,
No, I
but
agree.
that defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles, they take over games and suffocated Kansas City.
The window. Next year is going to be a tough season for the Detroit Lions. Just knowing who they play, regardless if all the players come back healthy or not, it's going to be a tough season. They got a hell of a schedule to play in. It's going to be tough. This is a window. This was a window. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. Just looking at this this Eagles team, that defense, talking about that defensive line, talking about Jalen Carter. I know. But I just look, you could have had Jalen Carter and Aiden Hutchinson on rookie deals at the same time.
Let me ask you a question.
At the same time.
For as much love as we give Brad Holmes, did he royally screw this thing up?
He might have.
I'm just asking.
Did he grab the truth?
I'm just asking the question. If you look at Philadelphia for a minute, just look at Philadelphia. Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens in 22. Just going by their first and second round picks. 2 first round picks in 23. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. The Lions passed on both.
Nolan Smith was amazing yesterday.
And then, last year, if you look in granted,
They didn't even have N'Kobe Dean.
I know.
These 2 players were picked before the Lions picked, but Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, cornerback.
We could have had DeJean.
Well, you could have in the first round.
Second round, too?
Second round, he was picked at 40. Lions picked at 61. So, I'm just saying, Philadelphia, 2 corners, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Lions, 2 corners, Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. It appears that Howie Roseman went defense. And the Lions, they went offense. Now, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And the recency bias of how Philadelphia won will get everybody, going crazy. Oh, Brad Holmes sucks. Go get Myles Garrett. Everybody's going nuts. But when you look at these 2 teams mirrored up against each other, defense, the last 3 years in the first round for Philadelphia, and the Lions passed up on all of these players and went another way.
And Philly's picking at the end of the draft. All those years.
What I would say is this, because I don't want to come in here and just evaporate what Brad Holmes has done. I don't want to come here and say, he royally botched this. Look, at the end of the day, what he's done, he's got the Lions to a space. He's drafted some really good players over his 4 years here. He's got the Lions to where they're fighting for the NFC title. They're winning the North consistently. So he deserves credit for that. He screwed this particular situation up is the Jalen Carter situation. And what it did was it put you behind the 8 ball. You could have had Jalen Carter. You still could have had 2 of those players in that draft. And then now, as we look at the 2024 draft in its entirety, now that the season's over, it's just an okay draft. Now, it was just an okay draft. In this race,
a lot of reaches.
Terrion Arnold, right now, it looks like he may be a decent player, but it looks like you could have done better. So right now, it looks like you had an average draft, not average too much. You didn't have as good of a draft as you've had in the past last season. And then one of the players that has been the biggest focal point of your 4 years here, Jalen Carter, just helped the Eagles in your conference win their first title, and he's been there 2 years, or second championship, and he's been there 2 years. That is a black eye, 100%. All the credit we've given him, it's okay to say he botched one, and this is one he botched.
Now I'll play the other side of the coin here for a minute, just for conversation's sake. Are Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell so much better on the Eagles defense because of the amount of pressure that the Eagles defense gets? We talk about all the time. What did I forgot who said this the other day? St. Brown said
you don't
the
need
other day,
secondary.
if you get Myles Garrett,
you don't need a corner.
Doesn't even matter who's back there.
Right.
You could have somebody worse than who's the guy that had the ball off the face mask? Vildor, to me, this poor Vildor guy is like the poster boy for.
I'm a Vildor fan. Leave him alone.
He's the poster boy for bad defensive back play for the Lions. But nonetheless, I'm just making a point. You know, if the Lions added a Myles Garrett, would you feel much? But would Terrion Arnold be that much better of a player? And the answer is yes.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. At the end of the day, everybody looks at what the Lions have done, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. We got to build through the draft. We're building through the draft. We don't want to bring players in. We don't want to take on them. Well, they've been in the league a little bit. They're not these." That's what happens in the NFL. At some point, you're going to realize you're going to have to bring a guy in. Look at the Eagles. They brought in Saquon in the offseason. They traded for A.J. Brown. Then they paid A.J. Brown. Well, A.J. Brown has helped them get to 2 Super Bowls, and he won yesterday. He had a touchdown. So you're going to have to make it. It comes with the territory. You cannot name me the team in the NFC in the last couple of years that's won the Super Bowl that hasn't made moves, big moves. Go big or go home. So I think the Lions have put themselves in a good position with the cap space, with the draft picks that you have now, with the players that you've already drafted to be part of that nucleus. If not now, then when? How many teams must you see? How many examples must you see what it takes to at least even get to the big dance? Hell, we haven't even been to the show. We're trying to get there. So
they didn't even win a playoff game this year, Bray.
So if not now, then when? And if it's not Myles Garrett, fine. Is it Trey Hendrickson? I'm cool with that. Is it Max Crosby somehow? I'm good with that. It doesn't have to be Myles Garrett if it messes up the aesthetic. But remember last time you said that a player was going to mess up the aesthetic. Yeah, he just hoisted the Lombardi.
But the point you're making, Braylon, is an absolutely valid one, okay? And this is, I got into it with one of the Lions beat writers on X because of my Myles Garrett tweet, which, has over 1,400 likes and has been seen by 200,000 people.
Seems like you're on the right side.
Talking about how many guys that the Eagles drafted. Well, there are no do-overs. You don't get a do-over for not drafting Jalen Carter. You don't get a do-over for not drafting Cooper DeJean. You don't get a do-over for not drafting the linebacker Nolan Smith. You don't get a do-over for not drafting Jordan Davis. These are all players that Brad Holmes passed on. You don't get a do-over for that. The only thing you do get to do is make what you do have better.
Yeah.
And the way to make those guys better, the way to make Jack Campbell better, the way to make Terrion Arnold better, the way to make Aleem McNeil better, Aiden Hutchinson better, DJ Reader better, Alex Anzalone better, is to go out and get Myles Garrett. That is your do-over. That is your get-out-of-jail-free card.
Well said.
That is what you do. The LA Rams didn't have a first-round pick for 6 freaking years. Won a Super Bowl. Yes, they missed the playoffs the following year. But you know what happened the 2 years after that? Made the playoffs, lost by 1 on the road against Detroit. Year after that, made the playoffs, won a playoff game, and probably should have won, was 1 possession away from beating the Eagles in Philadelphia and making it to an NFC Championship game. So, no, I don't buy the draft thing.
Yeah.
F them picks and go out and get the player that can get your franchise. They mentioned this on the broadcast yesterday. 4 teams have never made it to the Super Bowl. Guess what? You're one of them. There is a player out there that can get you there. You are 1 player away. Go get him.
Yeah, no, well said. No, 100%. And this is the tweet from Mr. Ryan Ermanni. Yeah, that was well said. It was well said. You try to build through the draft. You've built through the draft. Now it's time to make a move. This is going to be a very pivotal moment for Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and the Detroit Lions this offseason, especially with this move or, one of the other two guys that I named. You have to ensure that defensive line. You got to get them some help. It makes it a lot easier for these DBs. Look, Terry Arnold's the guy we got right now. Whatever we do with the DBs, when you add that defensive line, when you add that pressure, you get so many interceptions because of that. Quarterbacks are trying to get rid of the ball fast. It makes it a lot tougher. So, yeah, you showed me the team that won just building it through the draft. And, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s. That's about it.
And that's basically what you have to decide is how many players away do you think the Detroit Lions are to competing. And again, the 15 wins, it's great. It's great.
Who
15
gives a
wins. That is the defeatist attitude, I think, of Lions fans, though, right? Because, you're the Lions and you won 15 games. What does that get you? What did that get you? It didn't get you anything.
Got you one more game than the Bears. That's all it got you.
And the same amount of wins in the playoffs.
I put it to you this way. Lions are in an interesting spot picking this year. If they miss out on Myles Garrett and then they miss again in the draft, you're looking at a team, and I don't want to scare you. I just want to keep it real. You're looking at a team that might be a wild card team next year. Let that sink in. If they miss out on Myles Garrett, and if they drop a dud in this draft, because they're not picking high, it's not going to be easy, you can be a wild card team. Look at what the Vikings are doing. Look at what the Chicago Bears are doing, but potentially going to do. We don't know where Myles Garrett. Look at the Commanders. Look at the Eagles. Like, it's going to be tough sledding. Green Bay won't be as bad as they were last year. And you can mess around and go from 15 wins to a wild card team. This is where you make a move.
Listen, I can't say any more than what Ryan said.
Yeah, he nailed it.
But I will just go back to the draft. You dropped down how many spots when you didn't want to take Jordan Davis? How many spots? They went from what, 8 to
12.
16? 12? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you could have had him there. Nolan Smith was at the end of that first round. Yeah. Nobody really moved up to get him. Maybe Philly might have moved up to get him. I'm not sure what happened that one. And then the following year, you wait, you get Terry and Arnold. Okay, I like the kid. Now second round comes, and I've been saying it. I was a huge Cooper DeJean fan. I said he could do punt returns, kickoff returns, and he's terrific, and he is a Lion-type player. He's an Iowa guy. You're going to tell me Jack Campbell didn't tell these guys, you got to get this guy? So at 44, like you said, he's like, I'm smarter than that. I'm going to wait. I like Ennis Rakestraw at whatever the hell number he went at, 60.
61.
Yeah.
So he thought to himself, I'm not moving up to get this guy. I'm going to wait and get this guy. So instead of getting this guy, you got this guy all the way over here. And we don't know about Rakestraw because he didn't play. He's been hurt all year.
Oh, and Maz, let me add to this for all those out there that are talking about, where they picked. They couldn't get Quinyon Mitchell where they picked. They picked after that. Excuse me, last two drafts before that, didn't they move up in the draft?
You sure?
Moved up twice.
Got J-Mo.
So you could have moved up. You knew you needed a defensive back. This is a position of need for a very long time. Since Jeff Okudah, you knew he was the wrong guy. This is the running back and the cornerback position are probably the worst position for the Lions in history, outside of Barry Sanders. Remember that drought? Same with DB. You haven't had a DB since, Darius Slay. You could have gotten Quinyon Mitchell, who you knew was the number one defender in the draft. I won't give you flack about Cooper DeJean because you can't get everybody, so I'm not necessarily mad at that. Quinyon Mitchell, you could have made a move because you did it 2 years in a row.
But Terrian might be as good as him. We don't know that yet. You don't think so, huh?
Nah.
All right.
I think Terry and Arnold was an Alabama guy. Like, trust me, he's had some sets of Alabama. But I think the school could be why with the draft pick. Like, if he had the same talent, he went to Auburn. I don't know if he's selected. But he played at Alabama. It's like, it's Alabama.
This Philadelphia organization, I know they've won. So they won one Super Bowl here. They made it to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Won another Super Bowl 8 years ago. This Philadelphia Eagles team just won 2 Super Bowls in an 8-year time span with different head coaches and different quarterbacks. That's an organization that you want to emulate a little bit, okay? Think about that for a second. How many organizations and I didn't look this up.
Yeah.
I probably should have. How many organizations in football have won 2 Super Bowls that close together within an 8-year time span with different head coaches and different quarterbacks?
49ers are the only one.
Okay, Bill Walsh and
Seifert.
George Seifert. That's right. Okay,
But that's
Montana and Young.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The Cowboys, the Steelers. I mean, you think about all these prohibited franchises. Patriots.
What that tells me is they are not afraid to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz got them to the Super Bowl. Essentially, Nick Foles wins it. They pay Carson Wentz. Didn't like Carson Wentz. Goodbye, Carson Wentz. Doug Peterson, he's a Super Bowl coach. Hey, bye. They don't mind missing because it's kind of like what they do in Golden State or what they do in Kansas City. They don't stay tied to their losses. When they have a loss, they understand it, and they cut the loss. That's what they do well.
Including at coordinators. Didn't they have 2 new coordinators this year? And Kellen Moore
I was
and
just about
Vic
to say that.
Fangio?
Yeah, both their coordinators are new this year.
I mean, that should give you a little bit
They're
of...
going to get 2 new ones next year.
That should make you feel a little bit better, too, as a Lions fan, that, you can lose your coordinators and
regroup.
make it to the Super Bowl the next year.
Speaking of that,
win the Super Bowl.
Speaking of that, time to give that man some respect.
Absolutely.
Time to give Nick Sirianni
Hell
some
yeah.
respect.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize that Nick Sirianni got fired from the Chiefs when got the new head coach.
When Andy Reid took over.
Yeah, when Andy Reid took over, Sirianni got fired. A little add to that story in there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that myself. All right, guys, coming up next, you're going to hear from Jalen Hurts. You'll hear from Andy Reid. You'll hear from Patrick Mahomes. Did he take a little bit of a shot this Super Bowl here in terms of legacy a little bit? Because it just proves how hard it is to win this thing. And Brady went 10 years, I believe, in between winning Super Bowls.
04 and 14.
That's right. So we'll talk about that. Also, a bold prediction. Bold predictions for 2025. I've got one. I'm excited to share with you guys.
Excellent.
But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Well, your fitness is essential. Over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. This is the gym for you. They will get you right. They'll get you in shape. They'll get you back to where you want to be or where you've never been before. Check it out. They have this fitness, and it fits into your budget. They're not trying to hit you over the head, so they'll take care of you in your pockets, man. The gyms are clean. Trainers come with every membership. What else do I need to say when I come up here, man? Even the color scheme is cool. So, look, come to Planet Fitness because your fitness is essential.
And make sure you scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do that, deposit at least $20, make a bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Yes. Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Who couldn't use $5,000? Call Mark White & Associates today, 248-290-8242. Visit them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Hey, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. We take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to bring this up, Maz, and I don't mean to relive last night's agony, but you sent me a text last night. And I was so sick for you.
Both of you guys, I said it to.
I was so sick for you. I didn't realize who said.
Twice.
I was sick for you, Maz. Share for me what happened to you last night. Share with our audience what happened to you last night.
Okay. I had 0 and 0 as my numbers. Missed a bunch of them all day long. So at the end of the game, game's over. Chiefs have the ball. Score was 40 to 14. So I'm like, wow, Philly just gave up the ball at midfield. So there's 2 minutes left. So I tell my family, you know what? If Kansas City scores here and miss the 2 points, we're going to win. And when I say we're going to win, it's $100 square. So it's $4,000.
Oh,
okay? $4,000.
Life altering.
Next play. Mahomes hits, was it Worthy?
It was Worthy.
One play. The minute I said it, one play. Touchdown. I'm like, oh, my God. It's zeros. It's 40-20. Missed the 2 points. Nope. Got the 2-point conversion.
Oh, my gosh. That is disgusting.
That was the worst beat in Super Bowl square history for me.
Can I just say one thing? Because it's stuff like that, Maz, that makes you sick to your stomach. Because even though you didn't lose $4,000, like you didn't lose 4,000 of your dollars,
Right.
You mentally had it.
it felt like you lost $4,000.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I told people at Fox 2 this story today.
You did?
And off the air.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't care.
Off the air. And one of the things that they were saying was, at that point, you got to split it. But it's so quick you can't. There's nobody. It's such a quick thing.
We're not all in.
Right.
I don't know the
right.
people that are even in this thing.
Exactly. And that's the one thing, like, can you imagine if it was like, if you had 5 minutes to look and see who it was and see, hey.
I might have.
You know what I mean? Because that's something that would be worth splitting.
Wow.
But you don't even think like that in the moment because it happened so fast.
So I feel so terrible, man. I was on the complete opposite side. I was on the opposite. So I won the second quarter because I had 0-4 or 4-0, whatever. It was 4-0. So I had that. Third quarter, I almost won, but last when they scored, my stepmom won. Fourth quarter, this is my ignorant self. I had 1-0. So I'm on the side. I'm like, no, just kick the extra point. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just kick the extra point because I win.
Yeah.
If it was 1-0, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So they go for 2. I'm like, God dog it, I read the numbers wrong. I had the wrong team. I actually ended up winning.
That's awesome.
I had 2-0. So if they would have kicked the field goal, I went over there and thought I won. So
that's all right. My wife won $125, so it kind of takes a little. No, it doesn't take.
No, it doesn't, man.
No, it doesn't.
You put 4 large
Oh my God.
4K in your pocket.
400%.
I mean, oh my God.
That's why they call it gambling and not winning.
That's right. That's why they call it fishing and not catching.
That's the
right?
That's the first gambling I did since
Oh
quitting.
man.
I don't count that as gambling.
Yeah, true.
To me, it's a game.
Right.
That's a game.
Right.
I don't put a
mad,
penny on the game.
But it opens the floodgate. Because now that I won, I'm like, ooh.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh man, sick to my stomach about that for you,
Oh,
Maz.
Christ.
Hey, let's hear from the MVP, Jalen Hurts, post game.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Just humbled, very blessed, and just trying to soak it in.
How everybody overcame everything throughout the year and even the postseason, even going into this week. Had some bug. You get Brandon Graham back, some good things. Offensive line intact. What an effort overall. Dominant performance.
Yeah, it was a great team effort. You know, defense wins championships, and that defense played their ass off all year. Played very strong, very good football.
Talk about just the touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. It was a thing of beauty, man. The post route. Just you were on point all day, bro.
Yeah, that's a hell of an execution right there. I had a lot of confidence in that play. Appreciate Kellen calling it up.
Last thing, the year
Great
that's
execution by Smitty too.
last thing, just the year that Saquon Barkley had, and it all came together. These last 2 weeks, you guys, your passing game was just really explosive.
Well, when you let it loose, that's what happens. But I think it's a blessing to be able to win in multiple ways. I think that's a credit to all the great talent we have.
Look good for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts absolutely
Heck yeah.
deserves credit for that Super Bowl and what he did. He had one interception, but outside of that, he was flawless. Like he's done the things that he's asked to do. Hey, look, we get a little play action situation right here. If we get Devontae Smith, we need you to fit the ball in this window. No problem, I got it. Hey, look, A.J. Brown, he's going to come over with a little play act, a little fake this way. Once you hit him on the cross on this, it's cool. Hey, if anything looks like it's going to break down, just think, just go. Don't even think, just go. He did that yesterday. This is the second time we've seen him in the Super Bowl, and he's been elite. Like, if before the season, he's the only question mark for people really, 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 in the beginning of the year, voting this team to be the team. If I told you that a team had a $200 million quarterback, then you probably figure, oh, this guy's legit. If I told you that same guy had the best offensive line, he's got a wide receiver that's in the top 5. Another one is probably top 13. He's got the best running back in the league. He's got the best offensive line in the league. And on the opposite side, you know what? He has the best defensive line in the league. He's got the best defense in the league. You would probably tell me, well, that's probably your Super Bowl winner. But nobody believes in Jalen Hurts. Nobody believed in Jalen Hurts that he could be this way. I think what Kellen Moore's offense allowed him to do, just play worry-free football. They motioned all last night. Did you see that? They were letting him know what the coverage was, man to zone. It made it a lot easier. They focused on Saquon Barkley. He had a lot of one-on-one situations. Jalen Hurts did what he was asked to do, and he deserves the credit. He did the same thing 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. He's an elite quarterback when everything is right. Last night he proves he deserves the money, and he deserves to be the leader of that team.
I'm a huge fan of Jalen Hurts, Maz. I mean, this guy is, we talk about Nick Sirianni being disrespected. I am just as guilty as the next guy is disrespecting Jalen Hurts to some extent. When we talk about the great quarterbacks in this game, nobody puts Jalen Hurts in there. Even on the graphics last night, if you look at the graphics last night, it was Mahomes and Barkley. Mahomes and Barkley. Mahomes and the defense. You know what I mean? They didn't include Jalen Hurts on any of that one-on-one stuff. I mean, and again, think about teams. Think about the Cincinnati Bengals. If they were represented in the Super Bowl, who's on the graphic?
It's Joe Burrow.
You know, I mean, just go through if it's the Buffalo Bills, think about all the teams who's represented on the graphic when they're playing. And for a guy that's been to 2 Super Bowls and now has won one, never to be on the graphic, and now the MVP of one, I'm a huge fan of this kid.
He should be 2-0 in Super Bowls.
The biggest thing is the consistency for Jalen Hurts. Now he has consistency, and that's been the problem. See, people saw Jalen after he got drafted that first year. He didn't have an offensive coordinator that got along, and they sneak into the playoffs, and it doesn't work. That next year, they bring in Shane Steichen. Now the offense is rolling. Now he's got some sense of chemistry and an offensive guy that knows what the hell he's doing. Get to the Super Bowl and have success. The very next year, what happened? That coordinator's gone. So now you got another new coordinator. Last year just wasn't a year. Knee blows out towards the end. So it's like every year it's the inconsistency. I think he's been that way since he's been in Alabama. I think he said he's played with something like
in high school.
Yeah, high school, a different coordinator each year. So he finally got back with a coordinator that's dope, and you can have the success. So it's not rocket science, man.
Hey, Kellen Moore earned himself a head coaching
Yeah, he's
job.
going to play with another one next year, Bray. Go ahead,
100%.
man.
Kellen Moore is going to be the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints, and we talked about his name. And Bray, I brought him up, and you said, Kellen Moore? You mean the guy that used to be a quarterback here for the Lions, the former Boise State guy, and failed in Dallas? I don't know what he did. You know what he did?
I don't think I brought up Boise State.
He got a team. He got a team that got talent. He got a team that's got talent, and now he won a Super Bowl in the stadium he's going to be calling home going forward. So I'm happy for the guy, and you know what? His star is rising, and I give him credit.
I'm happy for him too, but once again, just because you're a great offensive coordinator doesn't mean you can be a head coach, and that's always where I was at with Kellen Moore. I don't think he's a head coach, but prove me wrong.
Well, the thing about Kellen Moore that I think a lot of people like with him is that he was always seen as a pass-happy coordinator until he got a running game.
Yeah.
And then you're able to call a more balanced game. I mean, Saquon Barkley rushed for over 2,000 yards this year. I mean, how many times has that ever happened in league history? But exactly. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people like the fact that Kellen Moore was able to adapt as well, and it leads you to believe that when he's in Dallas and they have absolutely no run game whatsoever, that you do what you have to do based on the talent that you have on your roster at any particular time. You just do what you do what you cook the meal that the groceries you have in front of you or whatever the old
John
saying
Morton
is.
that's coming here to take over for Ben Johnson, he's got a cupboard full of stars. The offense next year, they're not going to lose a step next year. It's the defense that these men have to take care of. All right? Yeah, it was a freak that 22 of them wound up on the IR. That's a freak. But you know what? When Philly lost that Super Bowl 3 years ago to Kansas City, what'd they do? They went out and they fixed something. They're like, this guy's running all over us, Patrick Mahomes. How do we stop Patrick Mahomes from running all over us? Oh, let's just draft this kid. Let's draft this kid out of Georgia. Let's draft him, put him in the middle of our line, and see what we got. And bam, he ran for his life last night again, and he didn't escape this time.
Also, too, Eagles got to get some credit because they let some good players go. Like, when they reloaded after that Super Bowl year, they let T.J. Edmonds go. Like, they let some players walk out the door that were all-pro, that were Pro Bowl
They're
players.
going to let Slay go.
That's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
They let C.J. Gardner-Johnson go that year.
Brandon Graham's going to retire.
100%, but they've revamped. They've drafted well. They've replaced those players, So Howie Roseman, once again, he gets brought into the line of credit because he deserves a lot for assembling this roster. Like, it's tough to stay at that level. And their defense has been at this level now for about the last 5 years.
I'm glad BG got to play last night.
Yeah,
And
Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He absolutely looked good. Can I give you my bold take for 2025 right now before we get into talking about Kansas City?
Go for it.
My bold take for 2025 is that the Kansas City Chiefs will miss the playoffs. And the only thing prohibiting me from really, truly putting my fist down
It's Patrick Mahomes.
No. It's who do I believe in the AFC to come up and take that spot. I believe the Chargers and I believe Denver. One of those teams can win the division and one of those teams will make the wild card. I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals will make a wild card next year with Joe Burrow. They should have made it this year. Who is that third wild card team that would keep Kansas City out? Is it the Miami Dolphins? Is it potentially the New York Jets, 5-12 team? No. Is it the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence? That is the only thing. Will Cleveland get a quarterback? I mean, that is the only thing from keeping me from pounding my fist on this table that this will happen.
Yeah.
Is who is that third wild card team that is going to keep Kansas City out?
AFC is weak.
But I do believe Kansas City is now at a crossroads. I think their coach is old and getting older. He's not getting any younger.
He just got an extension.
Exactly, but whatever. I don't think that means anything. Maybe he'll coach till whatever, but I think their players are getting a little bit older. There's a lot of wear and tear on those bodies that have been with that team, and maybe these guys that have been rookies that have come in aren't as good when they're required to do so much more. You know, when you're a rookie and you're brought in and you're able to be, fit in with all these championship type players, and then you've got championship type players kind of peel off one by one, you're not as good. And I think that Kansas City is approaching that kind of status where they've won for so long. Now I think it's somebody else's turn, and I think it's going to take some time for them to retool and rebuild.
If you want to say that they're not going to make the Super Bowl, I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But saying that they're not going to make the playoffs, they still have one of the best centers in the game, one of the best left tackles in the game, the best quarterback in the game, and they still have Andy Reid forever long. And they have some good young players on defense. They have Karlaftis, who's a young defensive end. They have the
Mind you, I said bold take.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Mind you, just
understood.
Yep.
And I just think they'll still be fine. This is also a team that has lost the Super Bowl. And what did they do the following year? They won the Super Bowl. This is a team that has lost the AFC Championship. What did they do that following year? They won the Super Bowl. So this is a team that knows how to deal with adversity, apparently, because they figured out those times. But this is going to be a crucial offseason for Brad Veach and that front office. There's some decisions that they're going to have to make, and there's some players that they're going to have to add to this team because, to your point, the AFC has caught up with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've caught up with Patrick Mahomes, and a blueprint is now out there. So they got to go correct the blueprint, and that's going to be adding weapons in the offseason. So I don't think they're out of, but they got to make some decisions.
I'm in flux here with what's going to happen. I want to have a bold prediction as well, but I got to think it over a little bit more.
Think it over.
That was a hell of a one, because let's face it, they were 15-1 this year, 15-2. And they could have lost easily another 5 games in that run. So if they did, they would have maybe squeezed into the playoffs if that happened. So we'll see how the AFC reacts next year. And we got some NFL news coming up. But keeping it here with the Lions and keeping it here with the Super Bowl. As the Super Bowl goes longer into February, we'll tell you about that as well. What'd you guys think, just a sidestep here, Fox last night? What'd you think of Tom Brady? And what'd you think of the new Fox box last night, the new graphic?
The Fox box, I didn't mind it at all.
It's huge.
Every year they change. Every year it's changed, and every year it's adaptable to me. That didn't bother me. I am not able to tell you about Tom Brady because I was watching it with a lot of people, and you really can't hear the game.
I got to watch it at home.
You know what I mean?
That Reggae game.
I really couldn't hear the game. I saw
he wasn't very good.
I saw awful announcing, some sort of article that was written.
There's
I think
a lot
it was
of articles on
awful announcing just about the fact that this is not made for Tom Brady. He's not cut out for this type of job post playing career. I think he's really good in interviews. Like what he told, I don't know if anybody saw the Colin Cowherd interview last week.
Yeah.
Was as insightful an interview as you will see.
His superpower.
Yes, on his superpower and how he knew Kansas City's defense better than Kansas City because all he did was study film for 2 weeks. That stuff is priceless. When he talked about how I forget what Super Bowl it was, but they were so overmatched defensively, so he just dumped it off to James White 20 different times. That's how he beat you. He knew your defense better, but I don't think you get that during the broadcast.
Right. It ain't easy.
So that is stuff I thought you would get from Tom Brady during the broadcast. It is stuff that comes in interviews in the week leading up to the game.
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I legitimately couldn't hear. And the game wasn't interesting, so I really wasn't necessarily paying attention to it. So,
I watch this game like I watch any game.
Yeah,
I watch and I listen. I'm a broadcast guy, so that's what I really concentrate on. Obviously, the game is there. It's my 54th Super Bowl that I've watched. I know I was alive for all of them, but I remember Super Bowl 5 to now, 59. It's 54 Super Bowls that I've watched, and I've loved them all. And Super Sunday is always special to me. Do you know I've never left the house on a Super Sunday, except to go to church and come home. Yesterday, I took my daughter to the Pistons game.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I took Lily. We went. I bought 2 tickets. I saw him, $30, lower tier. I'm like, get him. Jumped on him, went to the game. It was a fun game. And I watched the Friday night game against the Sixers. I was there. Both games, up 30-plus points. Up 30-plus points, those guys. It's just a fun team for me to go watch. So my point is, Super Sunday wasn't the same for me yesterday. Like I said, we all said it. The Lions gutted us. So it was just another game to me yesterday.
I got to give Detroit Arrow in the chat credit for this. He's got an excellent suggestion. If you want to keep Tom Brady on the broadcast, move him in the pregame show for Terry Bradshaw. That might be a perfect slot for Tom Brady to be on the desk with everybody, and you have that kind of insight. And that way you can move your boy Greg Olsen back into the booth. I mean, potentially that could be something.
Like it.
Only problem with that, you're not paying somebody $330 to sit on the desk pre and post. That's not the money.
Yeah.
How about adding a third guy to the booth?
Well, we could do that too. Maybe
if you remember, it used to be
3 guys:
Joe Buck, Collinsworth, and Aikman.
And it used to be Aikman and Moose Johnston as well in the booth.
They still do 3 on radio.
Dallas
no doubt. Hey, can I go back to Andy Reid for a second? I just want you to hear what Andy Reid had. So this is Andy Reid
after the game,
and Patrick Mahomes after the game.
To our fans and all the support that they've given us. Today was a rough day. We didn't really play well in any of the phases. Didn't coach good enough. They did a nice job. I'm proud of our guys, though, for the battle, the fight that they put in throughout the year, and all the games that they played here over the last few years. So my hat goes off to the guys for that.
So that's Andy Reid. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
Credit to the Eagles, man. They played better than us from start to finish. We didn't start how we wanted to. Obviously, the turnovers hurt. And, I take all the blame for that. Just those early turnovers swing the momentum of the game, and then they capitalized on them, and they scored. They scored on the one, and then they got a touchdown immediately after. So that's 14 points that I kind of gave them, and it's hard to come back from that in the Super Bowl. And so just didn't play to my standard, and I have to be better next time.
He handled it well.
He did. But
again, a lot of credit given to the Eagles, though, was it?
Yeah. He said they beat him, and it was his fault a lot. He blamed it on himself. He said they were just a better team today.
Okay.
They took a beating yesterday. Mm-hmm. A beating. Travis Kelce, he looked miserable. What was that thing you sent me that I saw the hit that CJ did on Travis Kelce, but what did I miss?
I saw that hit too.
It wasn't anything. It was just it wasn't a late hit or anything like that. It was an aggravated hit. Like one of those things you do to mess with somebody, and then you could just see how frustrated Travis Kelce was.
Yeah, he was.
Like frustrated. And he's usually not like that.
No.
So that's what they were kind of highlighting.
And CJ stood up like a soldier. He like he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
it was funny.
They got whooped. And also, too, we talked last week about the refs. The refs were the big part of the conversation because they're a part of the Chiefs' conversation. And one of the things I said, look, you don't have to worry about the Super Bowl. I said the NFL will not get this wrong. I said they're gonna make sure you feel like it's a well-called game. Now, obviously, they got the doors blown off, so they made it easier for the refs in the NFL. But
it wasn't easier the first time Philly had the ball on fourth down.
The first play,
they hit A.J. Brown.
I said
that was not a penalty.
I said, when he hit the face mask.
Yeah.
I said, here we go, and I think
that's right.
After that play,
they got a call.
100%.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I had zero intention of tweeting during that game.
Yeah.
Zero intention. I'm at a party. I don't want to pick up my
phone. I saw you tweet.
A lot.
That felt just like it.
I saw that play.
Here we go again.
And I grabbed my phone immediately. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. There is absolutely no way you can make that call right then and there. And did you see, speaking of the betting, did you see somebody bet $70,000 at minus 700 to 1 that there would be a fourth down conversion in that game? And they were 0 for 2. But that was a fourth down conversion that could have won it early in the first quarter on the first series of the game.
Sick.
And
so
sick. You're sick to your stomach in that point. God. Hey, speaking of Travis Kelce, maybe we can do this in the next, but we'll just keep talking. I'm up against it.
I saw that suit. I knew he was going to get their butt whooped. I saw that suit.
I thought he was in Boogie Nights.
I knew he was getting his ass whooped.
He bugs me. He used to be this guy from Ohio. I think that's why I don't like Taylor Swift anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So he was dating a sister. He was cool.
He used to be this guy from Ohio.
Yeah.
And now he's just
a caricature
He's a character.
of himself.
You know what I mean?
He's a DB.
He's a cartoon.
It's like a total douchebag.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
is.
cartoon.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's all because of her.
Yes.
You know, he's like this. He's just not a guy's guy anymore.
No.
And it bugs me. You know,
I told you
and
I didn't
she
like
got
him.
booed wildly.
Oh, God,
Yes.
In that
She was on the big screen and got booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I
Her
do
stance.
think that was an 80-20 Eagles crowd
It was.
in the city.
They took over.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, they know who she's rooting for. So they're gonna boo you.
Right.
That's number one. First and foremost, those are Eagles fans booing a Kansas City thing. Number two, I think football fans just tired of her being shown.
Yeah.
I really do.
My kids even said it. Why do we have to see her all the time?
Right.
I think
It's fatigue.
I do.
We
think,
have Chiefs fatigue.
I think football fans are tired of seeing her.
The NFL really. You know what? Jason Whitlock wrote this out. And I know a lot of people don't like him.
Can't stand
But he said the NFL this year jumped the shark. And that's what you say basically, Ryan. You're saying you're bored. It's like, and like I told you, I was watching games half this year, like just as background noise. So I saw it and I'm like, yeah, they kind of did. It's kind of when they put Fonzie on that motorcycle and made him jump over all those cars, and jump over the sharks. It jumped the shark. That's where it came from. It jumped the shark. And now they're adding another game. Honestly, I'm a huge football fan. You know that. Go back to 16 games. And I know it ain't ever going to happen.
Never gonna happen.
But 18 games? The regular season is meaningless. It's meaningless. These players, you can't keep them healthy. Less is more.
But they're for health first and foremost, right, Braylon?
This is true. Psych.
Less is more.
I think you're seeing that with all the sports. You know, they're watering down all the sports. We come at this desk after every national championship, after every World Series, after every Super Bowl, after every Larry O'Brien raising, and we say we're tired. Like last year was lackluster. NBA, we completely have washed out. Before the NBA did these trades and all these deals, nobody was paying attention to NBA. Same in baseball with the late games and night game. Baseball did get a little bit better with the pitch clock maybe last year, but it just seems like college football, you've added more games. There's more visible in terms of seeing them. They're streaming more places. It's just, you're over it.
Is there a sport? That's a great point, Braylon.
Is there a sport you're not tired of?
Is there a sport growing in popularity?
Golf.
I think
Never mind. Forget I said that. Forget I said that.
Get messed up because of that TGL.
Yeah.
TGL and Live.
I'm just talking about like the four major sports.
Oh,
Is there
got
a
you.
sport growing in popularity?
Baseball would be
Soccer.
the only one that I think had
baseball.
a good year.
It's got a shot.
Because it's got a shot. Like the pitch clock,
Baseball
I think a lot
has
of
a
people
shot.
are in for that.
And you know what? 8 million people watch the World Series.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Basketball and hockey
Right.
play too many games.
Maybe March Madness is one that still has its
MLB plays too many
it
games.
still
But you
has
don't
its
watch
grasp.
but you don't watch the basketball season.
No, that's what I said. Specifically, March Madness.
Oh, yeah. So like-
just that month, I think it's still got its luster.
Sit tight. I got to get a break. More coming up next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. It's Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month. Or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV, $789 per month. Zero security deposit, zero do-it signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee. That's right. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Sign and drive sale. Les Stanford Buick GMC. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won?
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to next from Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Yeah, he did, as he should have. Signature wings are now here before a limited time. Lemon pepper is the best. Real fans, yeah, they favorite Soroki, so I do, too. Crispy chicken, though. That's what they originally do, and that's what they're best at. It's the crispy chicken alongside of the pizza, man, and don't forget the fountain sodas. And last time I forgot the honey biscuits. Not this time. Make sure you pull up on Soroki's. They got the biscuits and the signature wings too.
We cannot let this day go by without discussing the halftime show.
What?
I mean, I am. I'll probably speak for Tom Massaway.
I was washing the dishes.
Look, it's no secret. I tweeted out yesterday. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it because I didn't know anything. I didn't know one word of any one song. There was nothing to sing along to for me. But it was great for people that like Kendrick Lamar, that know who he is, that know what all the hidden messages and all that stuff. It was very nuanced, very niche. I didn't care for it, but I'm not who they're going for.
Yeah, no, look, and I understand that. Like, if you didn't like the performance, yeah, I could definitely understand that. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of symbolism, meaning. Me and Ricky talked about that on Friday. We talked about it be visually stimulating. At least you could like that part and what he brought to the show. I thought it was well done. To your point, if you're into Kendrick, it was a great show. Like, the thing I like most about it, though, is it stems directly from momentum that was built last year. Like, he deserves the show if you want to do that in terms of his career, his body of work. But, you know, they had the biggest battle that has ever happened in music last year in terms of the viewership, in terms of the eyes on the beef with T and Drake. And that song directly led to the hottest wave of 2024. So I thought it was cool to see something current. I think a lot of times you get these performances and you're paying homage to somebody for their career.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is like bringing the Stones on, like when they did. They didn't bring them in their prime.
Yeah.
They didn't bring Prince like fresh off of Purple Rain. They brought Prince years later. Michael Jackson the same. So it was cool to see something current, if you will. And, you know, symbolism was dope. It's always good to see Serena, you know, hit a crip walk or something like that. But people that did not like it, I didn't have a problem with it because I understand it.
Right.
I had a problem for 100%.
See, that's why I'm glad you said that, Braylon, because so many people are like this, that. It's
One
all
thing
about
doesn't
this,
mean another.
That's right. And it's just all about, look, I like my steak rare.
Yeah.
Not medium rare. I like my steak rare. Some people like it well done.
Yeah.
I think you've ruined the steak if you eat it well done. You might as well get dog meat if you're going to cook a steak well done.
Watch that.
You might as well do it.
Yeah, it was that cultural moment. Like, this is the first time we ever had like you said, it was right now in the moment. Yeah, it was a bit much, and I get that. But we always get something 10, 20 years after it's big, and this was just a big moment, and congratulations to him for that. Yeah, and the Serena thing was just wild. That was just wild.
Yeah, and again, I guess I regret saying I hated it because I didn't hate it. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had no idea. I couldn't understand one word. You know what I mean? It's
that's real.
I couldn't understand one word of it. I didn't know what was being said. You know, usually, like, the rap that I like, even, you know, because I think the best halftime show I ever saw was Snoop Dogg,
LA.
Dr. Dre, Eminem.
Yeah.
You had
50
50
Cent.
out there. That's the kind of rap that I like. You know, there's music there a little bit. It's you could sing part of it. You know what I mean? There's like a melody or whatever. Like, outside of all the rap, then there comes back to like some sort of music.
True.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't my kind of rap even.
Yeah,
so I regret that I say I hated it. I just didn't know. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's real. Like, you know, conscious rap, which Kendrick does. Conscious rap is different. It's deep. It's thought provoking. Like, he's tackling real issues. A lot of times when people turn on music, you know, you just want something that feels good, good beat, good vibe, easy words. So I definitely get it. It happens like that. I remember when Coldplay performed at the Super Bowl. In fact, they added Beyonce and Bruno Mars because Coldplay wasn't the draw. And we were listening to it at the house, and I love Coldplay. It's just neither here nor there. But I had people at my Super Bowl party that was like, man, what the hell is this? So I definitely understand it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, too, because somebody they work with at Fox 2, Marielle Lou, he's texting me throughout the halftime show, trying to, help me along.
Let you know what was going on, what meant what.
Exactly. So, but if you don't have that, if you don't have somebody like walking you through that, then you have no idea. You're totally lost. But one of the things she did say was that's where the lack of collab to bring other people in may have kind of, separated this one from, another performance. I mean, look. If let's just say next year the Super Bowl is in San Francisco, Journey is from San Francisco. Let's say if Journey is the halftime show,
you can get Ricky Martin,
right? If Journey is the halftime, there's going to be people that hate the show, right? I would probably love the show. I'm a kid stuck in the 80s.
At the end of the day,
I love music.
At the end of the day,
instruments.
I love music. Okay, it's just it was what it was, man.
Bring a little something for everybody,
right?
Like real talk. Bring something for everybody. Let everybody, I guess, indulge in a halftime performance. Like make sure you have an artist that has that collab that crosses over, or you book two people.
And I'll take a.
Samuel L. Jackson, like not cursing though, was amazing.
Yeah, that was dope.
Like that was dope.
Samuel L. Jackson's Uncle Sam was that part was great.
You got that one.
I will say though, Bill Maher always says this. He does it real time on HBO, and he does. And I love this saying. The pendulum always has to swing so far this way or that way. Nobody can ever meet in the middle. Yeah. Right. And he's like, it's got to be the best halftime show ever, or it's got to be the worst halftime show ever. Yeah. It just can't be a moment in time. And like this was what it was this year, and it was, but it's got to be the best or the worst. It can't just be, the halftime. Last year, Usher. Oh, it was the best halftime show, or it was the worst halftime show. I work with a couple of people at Fox too that. Their daughters.
Yeah. Love Usher, right?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Mid to late teens, early 20s, just singing every word.
They love it, yeah.
So their parents, not so much. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. Yeah. So, we'll see who the halftime show is every year. I don't know.
Next year, it's going to be Morgan Wallen.
Wallen.
They're like, all right, look, can y'all give us one?
Morgan Wallen.
Because it went from Snoop to Rihanna to Usher to Kendrick. Like, it's Morgan Wallen.
And I'll tell you, I don't care for country music either. Yeah. So I'll probably hate that one.
It's not even country anymore. You heard him. It's not even country anymore.
A lot of it has elements of all type of genres. Right. Morgan Wallen's a rapper that also does country music.
Right. I mean, give me a little Lionel Richie. Give me some love music.
I'd love that.
You know?
I love Lionel.
I would love that.
80s montage. Just put them all up.
Yeah.
Whoever's left.
Montage. Now that would be good.
Dan sitting on the scene.
Yeah.
They
my
performed
God.
All the Stars. That's a love song.
I like that
happy
80s
song.
montage.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm-
Oh my gosh. So anyway, I just wanted to get that in there. Halftime show. It's good stuff. I like Salt and Pepper a couple of years ago.
Oh, Salt and Pepper
Boy.
works.
How long
You
ago?
know?
Salt and Pepper
That
came.
was, yeah, it was not long ago.
I forgot they did.
I did not care for J-Lo or Shakira.
Shakira.
Yeah,
Nah, I
that
didn't
one
like
that
That was fun.
That one was not good.
That's
That was
that
fun.
one.
Yeah, perv. That's
That is a halftime show. That is a halftime show.
Did you like Janet Jackson?
That was a good halftime show as well.
Put a boom out for you.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You
I got to see
specifically.
Bruno Mars at the one in Jersey. I mean, I love it.
Bruno Mars has
So-
done it a couple of times.
That's a great
I love
song.
him.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I
All
love
right.
music.
Hey, let's take a break. We'll come right back. We're going to play a little quarterback roulette because one guy is leaving New York. How about that?
How about it?
And I have an idea for who might be headed that way. But first, the message from our injury insider, Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Yes, sir. Do not miss him. You know it. He's here with us twice a week. Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Tuesdays with Big D Energy. He's with us on Thursdays. Trust the guy at DMAC and Braylon Trust. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or 248-426-9944.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, football season is over. We're getting into the Red Wings. We got the Pistons going. Tigers going to be loading up soon. You get your new merch right now, shop.woodwardsports.com. Hoodies, tees, hats, everything you need. Get some new stuff. Don't wear the same stuff from last season or the season before. Make sure you get your stuff right now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Go now.
Hey, welcome back. Before we get into this quarterback roulette, can I just get back to a topic that I kind of glanced over, but I'm curious to see what you guys think about, and that is just sports in general. NBA, NFL, NHL, college football, college basketball, the 6 majors we'll call it. The 4 majors and the two college sports. I mean, you had Notre Dame and Ohio State, two of the preeminent universities in all of college football. They did $20 million this year, which is a terrible number.
Yeah.
College basketball, I guarantee right now you wouldn't even be able to tell me who won the national championship last year. Go.
UConn.
Okay.
It's a sports show.
Braylon,
I couldn't get it out quick enough.
yeah, I'm sure, Maz. I'm sure, but
To your point, I forgot who they played.
Purdue.
Oh, see, I won't lie. I really did forget who they played.
it just feels like there's no sport that's growing. All we do is complain about this sport and that sport.
The college game is definitely not growing.
The college game is definitely not growing.
Definitely.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
College football, college basketball, both going
south,
declining steadily, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
The NHL, since its move to ABC, a lot of people thought that this would be a big deal. I don't think this ABC ESPN has really drummed up a ton of national excitement, has it?
It hasn't.
It's still a niche sport.
It is. It always will be.
I think for college football, the biggest issue is it's now professional. Like, it's pay to play. It's essentially NFL junior, if you will. There's pay to play. There's free agency pretty much because you can leave and go to whatever team you want to in the offseason. So I think the aesthetic is different. So I think when we're watching it now, we're not enjoying the stories. There's no, like you always talk about, Ryan, there's no stories. There's no watching a freshman year Charles Rogers, have a pretty good season, but have some drops or have some struggles, and watch Nick Saban talking to him on the sideline and him getting better, and then the following season have a better season, and then his junior year. Like, there's no long storylines like that. There's no quarterbacks that you like, oh, this quarterback almost transferred. He stayed, as you always talk about. He's on the bench. And, I mean, even the transfer portal line, keep that in there, but it used to be stories. It used to be stories about institutions. Like you mentioned it, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Like, if that game would have been played 10 years ago, the numbers would have been astronomical. These are two of the winningest programs of all time. But now it's just disinterest in everything. Like, you got players that won't be there, players in the middle of seasons that are like, I don't really like this place. Players that played on the team start off 3-0. Quarterback at UNLV was 3-0 to start the season and said, nah, they didn't pay me, I'm out. Which, by right, he can do now. So I think in the college game, it's a disinterest for what it's become.
Listen, man, they don't care about me anymore. What I mean by that is my age group. They already got the best out of me.
Man, they barely care about the millennials now.
Yeah. What I mean by this is I cannot wrap my head around how you've given so much power to the player, to the kid, to the high school kids. Start there. You got high school kids transferring. You remember, Dom Raiola's kid, Dylan. All the places that he transferred to. There's a ton of guys like that are out there. And you pay attention to these high school kids, and they're asking for the moon now. And their parents are, they're probably even worse than the kid. Then the kid gets to school, and he don't like it. Quinn Ewers went to Ohio State for $1 million. Never played a game. Left there, went to Texas, made money.
Run me my Cash App.
And I'll tell you this, if he got offered another job this year, and he did, he finally said, I'm not going to do it. He could have went to another university and made some more money. But he realizes the talent is so washed that he could be a top 10 pick in this year's NFL draft, although he really didn't show that he was a top 10 NFL guy. Shedeur Sanders, look what Deion Sanders has done for his kids. He's put them on the map. I just don't think once you give the kid power, you almost make the college coach irrelevant. I don't know. There aren't many guys out there left out there. We've talked about this. Tom Izzos are like dinosaurs. And I hope Tom wins it this year. Because if he don't win it this year, I don't know when the hell Michigan State's going to have another chance to win it. Dusty May went back to Indiana. He's from Indiana. Mike Woodson's leaving at the end of this year. They wanted him to leave last year. Guess what? They left him. They kept him. They could have had Dusty May. Mm-hmm. They want Dusty May at Indiana. Now Michigan is going to have to overpay to keep him. It's just, I don't know who's on what team anymore. And it starts at high school, and it trickles down all through the schools. That's why I've lost interest in the games. To me.
It just sucks because it's all about money. Like, you know, like at every level, the high school level, the collegiate level, it's all about money. And there's so much money being made, so much money being generated, that it's allowing people to not care about the other things. People are like teams or quarterback players are falling by the wayside. The brands are falling by the wayside. Institutions are falling by the wayside. But the bottom line, NFL's money still goes up every year. Collegiate level, even though the viewership isn't up, that money's up. Basketball, like even though basketball sucks and you don't want to watch outside of the Pistons, Mavs, their dollars are up. The money that they're making, so it's like you almost sacrifice the quality of the sport because of the money is so much. There's no quality anymore.
Just looking at the ratings for some of these leagues, like baseball, in 2016, the Chicago for Game 7, the Chicago Cubs, when they won the World Series in 2016,
against the Indians,
40 million people in 2016. In 2017, when the Houston Astros won it, 18 million.
Boy.
In 2020, when the Dodgers
that was the
won the
strike,
COVID,
that was the COVID year.
9 million.
Yeah, no one won.
In 2023, when the Rangers won it, 9 million.
Yep.
Boy.
In 2024, the Dodgers won it, 15 million.
And that's only because they played the Yankees.
Right.
That's
Think about that. 15 million
players.
Yankees
Yeah.
and Dodgers.
Only 15
15 million
Go
people.
back to the 70s. And
Think
that.
about, but
I bet
just,
you they had that in the 70s.
But just think about this. NFL and Major League Baseball. There'll be probably 120 million people that watched the Super Bowl yesterday. That includes the free Tubi app. It was the first Super Bowl that was completely streamed on free streaming, Tubi.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I used that last night.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
That's good. How'd it go?
It actually went very, very smooth. They had really good coverage. Everything was just fine. I mean, honestly, I had no problems.
Did you see the commercials, Pete?
Yeah, I did not.
No, are the commercials included
I don't
in that?
know.
Rupert
Yes.
Murdoch still
Yes,
making
the
money,
commercials
by the
were part
way.
of it, yes.
He
For
owns
sure.
Tubi. But you can go on YouTube and you can actually watch. Shout out to my girl part what they're doing out of Google. You can watch all the ads on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch all
So
the
is
spots.
Tubi have anything to do with YouTube?
No.
No.
Tubi's
Like, you know,
Fox.
Tubi.
Tubi's owned by Fox.
Okay.
Tubi's Fox,
Google's YouTube.
NBA Finals ratings in 2015 when the Golden State Warriors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, 20 million. 2016 Cavaliers won, 20 million. Fast forward to 2024, 11 million.
Wow.
Half the audience.
Wow.
Nobody wanted to see a team that
Half the audience.
shouldn't even been there.
2023, 11 million.
Bro, Dodgers, Yankees, 15?
Come on.
That's unheard of.
Come on. What is going on? So anyway, I think about that. Like you talk about jumping the shark. I feel like some of these leagues just jumping the shark, man.
That's because they're gutting people.
I got a sport.
They're charging people so much money to watch your home teams. Look what's happening with the whole FanDuel thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if the Tigers are going to be on that this year. I mean, the people that work for this company don't know what they're going to be doing coming up. There's so much in flux. And I don't know, Bri. I guess maybe we are a little fatigued. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You want a sport, man? This might be your time to start watching WWE. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They're on fire right now. They just joined up with
Netflix.
Netflix. They're getting. I thought the WWE was about to go by the way of, by the wayside. I thought that's where the brand was going when they sold
Never.
to Fox and Vince and all that stuff happened.
Never.
Triple H is rebranding like a mofo, man. And that deal with Netflix, it's now reached it because they were only in like 58 countries. And as long as WWE has been around, they're like 58 countries, 60. They're now in all the countries because of the reach through Netflix. So
Here's the
I
sports
wish I
that are,
liked it.
here's
Yeah, I know.
here's the
I don't
sports
watch
that are
anymore.
listed for
Rumble.
noticeable growth in television ratings. WNBA, darts, Formula One,
Darts is cold.
cricket, and tennis.
No pickleball?
Yeah,
pickleball.
I'm shocked about no pickleball.
I don't know where to
I'm
find
shocked
it.
for-
What's the
Formula One's
thing?
third.
What's the best thing in darts? Is it the 999 or a triple?
Couldn't tell you, Bri.
Don't know.
Do you know?
Yeah,
First time you, first
the
time
triple
me.
20.
Triple 20.
20.
Like the best of all time. Like they'll hit the triple 20 on the way out the door to win the game. It's cold.
It is.
Yeah,
And they'll hit all
100%.
3 darts right in there, too.
There you go.
Yeah, it's cold.
Guys, I want to play a little quarterback roulette. Can we?
Why not?
Go around the NFL quickly, Maz.
I can do that.
Give
Ready?
me the first story because I got the replacement quarterback.
All right. First story, of course, is Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
The New York Jets haven't made this official yet. Who? Adam Schefter reported it. There will be a divorce.
Jay Glazer reported.
Jay
it, by the
Glazer.
way.
Okay. Down goes Glazer. Aaron Rodgers will not
Goal
be
yesterday.
a New York Jet next year. Aaron Glenn and him discussed it. They decided to part ways. So there you go. Where's he going to go? We can go from there. Where will Aaron Rodgers play, Pete? Let's put that up. Here's a list of teams, and you basically can check out the odds there. What do you got, guys?
Pittsburgh Steelers are the favorite right now. The Raiders, San Francisco's an intriguing one. Minnesota, Indianapolis, and the LA Rams, all intriguing. Braylon Edwards?
Steelers.
Or retirement.
He's not retiring. He wants to play. He's not going out like that.
I think Steelers, and not because of the plus 200, it's because of the relationship that he has with Mike Tomlin. Everybody's seen that. They like that relationship. Mike's bringing the guy in. I think he can get the most out of Aaron in this space. I think he trusts, I guess, an older quarterback, if you would. I think it'd be a great fit. I don't see him working with the Raiders. Tom Brady's in GM. I just don't think that that's the fit. I think Bradford, I think that Kevin O'Connell has his guy. And I think the Colts, no. And no. So
I said it from day one.
San Fran.
He's finishing with the 49ers. And it works out because what happened on that Monday night game against the Lions? Brock Purdy re-injured his elbow. That's the elbow he had the operation on. Now they're talking. Jed York put something out today, the owner. We're going to pay. We want to keep him here for a long, long time. Yes. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers' backup next year because he's not going to be ready to play in the regular season opener. Aaron Rodgers will be the 49ers starting quarterback next year. Brock Purdy waiting in the wings, and he will get paid.
I could totally see that. Now let me tell you who's going to be the Jets quarterback. You ready for this?
Oh, gosh.
Sam Darnold.
Back in New York.
Sam Darnold. And I think Aaron Glenn, having seen him twice a year, potentially could believe that Sam Darnold could be his version of Jared Goff. I do, because I was surprised that Aaron Glenn and the Jets moved on from Aaron Rodgers because, let me tell you, who are you going to get? Who's out there?
Put up the free agent quarterback list.
I'm ahead of you, Tom.
Let's put it up.
Let me show you,
Tommy.
Thanks, Pete.
Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. Look at these names: Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. They're not getting Matthew Stafford,
Jameson Williams,
Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones. Look at these names, guys. Who are the New York Jets going to get? And this isn't some particularly strong draft where there's a Penix and a McCarthy and a Williams and a Daniels and a Nix.
Yeah.
This draft is not that. And if they believe that Cam Ward and or Shedeur Sanders are the two guys that are going to be special and elite this year, well, you know what? You're not in position right now to take either of those quarterbacks. So you legitimately have no option right now. So I was surprised that they moved on from Aaron Rodgers.
I don't see Sam Darnold going back to New York. Just simply put, when he was there, like I was at that game on Monday Night Football, the infamous I see ghosts out there. I was at that game. It's just a PTSD type thing. You can't go back to a team that's what you said. I see ghosts, and I think he'll always go back to those moments. Also, Aaron Glenn. How did Sam Bradford look the very last time that Aaron Glenn saw him? Horrible.
Sam Bradford, you call him.
So, excuse me, Sam Darnold.
They're the same guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to your point. Sam Darnold, last time that Aaron Glenn saw him, Week 18, Lions-Vikings, it looked horrendous. And he didn't look good in the second half for the first time that they played. So I don't think that Aaron Glenn, like coming in, fresh job, after he's removing Aaron Rodgers, which I agree with you, Ryan. I said last week, I think you keep him from year one, but maybe he just wants all new energy in that space. If you're moving him, Sam Darnold's not going to be answering.
I can see Derek Carr in New York.
Yeah.
I don't think he stays in New Orleans.
No, he's not staying in New Orleans.
I don't think he stays in New Orleans. I really don't know about the Jets. I laughed when the Giants let Daniel Jones go. I'm like, the Jets should pick him up. I laughed about that. And the more I think about it is, why the hell not? Draft a quarterback and ride Daniel Jones for a year or two. I don't know. They're going to draft a quarterback. Who they get, and if he's any good, we're not going to know that for a long time.
I think the question is, Ryan and Maz, how good do you think the Jets can be this year? And I think that's that's the decision I think Aaron Glenn has to wrestle with. Like, if he doesn't think his team is ready this year and he can flip and turn some things around, then get a guy like Daniel Jones, get a guy like insert guy that they pick here. But if you think you got a shot at, then find a way to work some magic. That quarterback list right there, Hey, that ain't it.
It is garbage. This is a terrible year, and that's why I said last week, and I truly believe it. Matthew Stafford is the transaction this offseason.
Maybe that's the move.
It is the transaction this offseason. I just don't see him going to the Jets.
Maybe Justin Fields.
I don't think Fields is the guy. That's such a trash pool.
Yeah,
it's such a trash pool. Even Aaron Rodgers. I mean, can Aaron Rodgers find lightning in a bottle? I mean, you are really hoping for hope.
Let me put this up about Kirk Cousins.
No quarterback on that list has success, and the only one is Kirk Cousins, and he's far from that. Go ahead.
No, Kirk Cousins, you keep talking.
I was going to say, I think he's far from having the success. The last time he won a playoff game was 7 seasons ago.
You like this? You like that?
Oh, that was the first one you won. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins came out and he said, look, I had arm trouble last year. I had elbow. I had shoulder. And it affected my play. And he's like, I got a lot of good football left in me. And he's not going to stay in Atlanta for $30 or $40 million that they owe him per year. He's not. So I'd give Kirk Cousins a role because you sign him for nothing.
Well, of course
he's got
you
the
give
contract.
him a role. Of course you give him a role because you look at those teams on there as well. Look at those. Go back to the Aaron Rodgers. Where's he going to play next?
Yeah, I'll get it for you. Go ahead.
Just to visually see the teams. I mean, what about the Steelers for Kirk Cousins? These teams are so desperate for quarterback. I mean, look who you're competing against in this league. You're competing against Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford. You're competing against some pretty big hitters in this league. And if you are going to a gunfight with a knife, meaning if your quarterback sucks,
butter knife,
you're going down. You know what I mean? It's just not a feasible method of attack.
I can't believe the Vikings are even on this list for Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings.
Well, maybe they don't know about J.J. McCarthy and his injury.
Well, we had Matthew Stafford going there, remember?
Kevin O'Connell said that Sam Darnold was his guy. He said that when he went up there and he won Coach of the Year. So we take that as just BS. He's in the moment, or because if they got their guy,
I think it is. I think it's in the moment.
In the moment,
yeah. Because the Vikings aren't going to sign him to a long-term deal when they have JJ waiting in the wings.
It's no way in hell they watch Week 18 and then that first round of the playoffs and they say, yeah, this is our guy.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely not. Those quarterbacks stink on that list.
Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, Derek Carr. And then again, if you look at Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, and Quinn Ewers, these are the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft. Ewers is ranked 60th
Don't forget
overall.
Jackson Dart is moving up.
Yeah, but why is he moving up?
Because there's no quarterback.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why he's moving up.
Well, I guess he did start here and he played here. Let's give him a little bit of a boost.
He throws a nice tight spiral.
Yeah.
He looks like a quarterback.
Yeah, he looks. So did Anthony Richardson look like a quarterback. Do you want Anthony Richardson leading your team? That's why the Colts are on that list as well.
Isn't that amazing?
I told you I did not want him here.
Yeah.
I did not want him here. You saw what you saw. Like when you watch, sometimes you gotta trust the film you see. Like you saw that film on Anthony Richardson. You saw that film on out of Tennessee Titans. Who was their quarterback? Will Levis.
Will Levis.
You saw the film. Like you know what it is. Like you don't have to. Okay, well, if he gets with the right guy, and that ain't it. Neither one of those guys.
Can I just say this too? And again, it doesn't appear that it's working out that way. But sometimes you take players. When the Lions drafted Hendon Hooker, thought it was a win-win situation for them because this is the perfect offseason to do this. If Hendon Hooker was that guy, and I don't believe he is at all, sadly, I don't believe he's that guy at all because if he was, I don't think there would be any need whatsoever. Nobody's checking anybody's license to see how old they are.
Yeah.
There would have been no need to pull Teddy Bridgewater off of a high school practice field and sign him for the playoff run.
And he got to play.
And he had to play. If Hendon Hooker was ready and available and that guy, Teddy Bridgewater would not have been on this team. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll accept it if I'm wrong. But that's just what I think.
Yeah, but that was also a third-round pick that didn't necessarily cost him anything. Anthony Richardson was number 5 overall draft pick.
But exactly. But what I'm saying is, here's where I love the pick, because if Hendon Hooker was that first-round pick that he should have been, this is a perfect offseason where you could trade him. You know what I mean? That's how that works. That's how it works for a lot of teams, that you take a shot on a guy. You might not need him, but if it pans out, this could have been a gold mine.
Yeah.
This could have been a year to really hit pay dirt on a guy like Hendon Hooker.
Is that another wasted pick for Brad Holmes?
Yes.
I wouldn't consider it a wasted pick.
Man.
That is a pick to me that doesn't appear that it's working out, but you absolutely had to make that pick and see.
And don't forget the Giovanni Manu, a guy I liked from Canada, an absolute project. And they moved up, and they grabbed him last year, and I think it was the 4th round. They moved up to get him.
I wouldn't say it's a wasted pick, though. I think that was a good use of a third-round pick, because at the end of the day, just didn't work out. And that is okay. But you took a shot.
Yeah.
And, again, we'll see if it works out. But this was the year that you could have potentially maybe had a king's ransom for a guy like Hendon Hooker.
I'll be, man.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm a little nervous about this. I do. I'm shell-shocked.
Windows closed.
I'm shell-shocked.
The window's closed.
It's not, obviously.
Windows closed.
It's not. They have so much talent, especially on offense. But I'm from what I saw in that Super Bowl,
we'll take a break, come right back. We'll check in on the Wings and Pistons next, and the Tigers today. Today could be the day that they sign Alex Bregman, but probably not.
Probably not.
We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Yeah, but it's still coming off the video game. Like, part of that, me, is like, he was on the video game in 06 and Madden doing this stuff. So I was like, shoot, for a first quarterback, You could do worse. And guess what? I did.
Our commercial break conversation was when Braylon Edwards was in the draft, where he wanted to go. You want to recap that for the people?
Sure, we can do that. So the 49ers had the number 1 pick when I came out. I wanted to go number 1 overall. I didn't want to go to the 49ers. I just wanted to be number 1 pick. Number 2 is Miami. It's Miami. So I wanted to go to Miami, but I didn't necessarily want to play with Gus Frerotte. 3 was Cleveland. Definitely wasn't thinking about Cleveland. Chicago was 4. Cool. It's in the same division as the Lions. It's Chicago, but it's Rex Grossman. But at least it's a guy I played against. I played against Rexman.
What terrible quarterbacks, though.
But 100%. And then 5 was Tampa. At the time, Tampa wasn't necessarily good.
That would have been fun to go to.
True, but they had just gotten Michael Clayton, who was actually Rookie of the Year. So that, and then 6 was the
Who was
Titans.
the quarterback for Tampa?
Hell if I know. The Titans, I just knew I didn't want to go there either. It was Kerry Collins. 7, Minnesota Vikings, Dante Culpepper. Grew up playing video games. I loved him. I met him in person at the Super Bowl. Oh, I hated Chris Sims too. You know I don't like him.
Terrible quarterback.
I thought Minnesota was cool. I said Chicago or Minnesota. I said I'm in Chicago. I'm 4 hours from the crib. I'm in the same division. Minnesota. All right, a little further, but same division. I like the uniforms and Dante Culpepper.
How do you not?
Cleveland Browns and Trent Dilfer is what I got.
If I had my choice of where I'd want to be picked, the Vikings would be right up there. Just because I always loved the purple, loved the uniform. They have one of the best stadiums in the league. Minneapolis is a real good city.
It's top 3.
Yeah, Minneapolis is a real nice city. You can do a lot of stuff. I know it snows and it's cold, but they got like an underground city in Minnesota. You never have to go outside if you don't want. You could be underground for so much things. Of course, Mall of America, all of that. But we were talking about Matthew Stafford, and I'm like, man, why wouldn't he want to go to Minnesota? If you can't stay with the Rams, and the Rams just decide they don't want you, and I don't know why they wouldn't want him, because to me, he looks like he's got a lot of football in him. But if they don't want him, Minnesota would be a hell of a stop for him.
Hey, just during the break, I was just checking out on X. I see that Jalen Hurts is already at Disney World. How cool is it that Mark Champion is still the voice of...
Did he voice it again?
Did it again.
All right, MC.
So Mark Champion, Pistons broadcaster, former Lions announcer back in the day, and I don't remember the story. He's told it so many times, but I don't remember how he became the voice of it. But
his friend was one of the top guys at Disney.
Oh, really?
And they were like, "Hey, we're starting this," and you know who the first guy was? Phil Simms.
Oh, Phil Simms, yeah.
Phil Simms.
Phil
Super Bowl
Simms,
21.
you and the New York Giants have just won
Super
the
Bowl
Super Bowl.
21.
Where are you going next? We're going to Disney
87, 1987.
Wow.
That was
so
the
he's
first
been
year.
doing it that long.
Yep.
Is that something or what?
That's great.
Good for Mark Champion. I posted that because I was watching ESPN a little bit this morning and I saw that. And I just got a kick out of it. Just anytime. I mean, I was always a big local guy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
When your local guy is a voice at a national, like I loved it when Mitch Albom was on the Sports Reporters.
Sure.
You know what
I get it.
Like
Yeah.
your
Feel like you're
local
national.
guy.
Yeah,
it makes
he's
you
our
feel
guy.
like your city is
Represented.
Your city is represented. Speaking of our city and our country, Maz, talk to me about this Four Nations tournament that I know nothing about.
Yes, the NHL has had a break here, guys. The NHL, unfortunately for the Red Wings, they played on Saturday. They wish they started the break on Saturday because they got whitewashed at home against Tampa Bay 6-3. It was 4-1 in the first period. It was 4-1. They came back to make it 4-2. It looked like they were starting to get back in that game. They couldn't. But they finished the first half of the year with 61 points, second in the wild card. Their next game is not till George Washington's birthday, the 22nd. That's Miracle Day, by the way. They played a Wild. So now the Four Nations tournament, it's like an Olympics. It's Four Nations. It's Canada, the U.S., Sweden, and Finland. It starts, let's see, when's it start? Wednesday.
Christ, I can't find it.
Wednesday in Montreal. These are just the rosters. Peter's going through the rosters here. You can see the U.S.
So we got one guy in the USA.
We got one guy. We got one.
Larkin, third liner.
And we got one guy in
Mort's
Sweden.
Mort's.
That's it? That's all we got?
We got two people.
Two
playing.
players in this
Two
whole
players.
tournament?
Yeah, two players. And there's only 4 teams, right? There's 4 all-star teams.
Okay.
Okay.
So in the whole league, we got 2 guys?
The big game is coming up this Saturday night. U.S. and Canada from Montreal. So the game starts Wednesday in Montreal. They play a bunch of round-robin tournaments. And this upcoming Saturday will be U.S. and Canada.
Mo Sider didn't make it?
That's going to be awesome. No. Thursday, February 20th at Boston will be the final. And hopefully it'll be U.S.
It's actually
and
pretty
Canada.
cool.
It is cool.
I'll be into this.
It's like a Canada tournament. It's going to be on all the networks, USA, TNT, ABC, ESPN.
Oh, I'll be totally into this. This is fun.
It's going to be fun. It will be. It's like watching Olympic hockey.
So
I mean,
this
that's the best.
is the version of the play-in tournament that the NHL, I would say, was trying to do, right?
The NBA.
NBA.
Yes. This is more like an Olympic
or not
break.
the play-in, but the what do they call
The
that?
in-season tournament.
The in-season tournament.
Yeah.
The NBA
Lakers,
Cup.
Yeah, was the Lakers were the champions last year, or
Of the
was it this
NBA
year?
Cup.
Who won the NBA Cup this year? Was it the
I don't
Lakers?
think- has it been determined
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah, 100%. No, it was.
Did the Lakers hang a banner?
That was last year.
Oh, who won it this year?
Was it OKC?
OKC. Oh, SGA. OKC.
Well, I thought I thought it was. Maybe I might be wrong.
Let's see.
No, they got beat.
Yeah, they got beat.
Yeah, OKC lost.
Was it the Bucks?
Milwaukee.
The Bucks.
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
Damian Lillard
Yes.
got off.
The
The
Bucks.
Emirates NBA
Yes.
Cup title.
Yeah, this is like that. This is a 2-week break for hockey, regular season hockey. That's a long break. That's a long break, especially with. It's sad that the Red Wings couldn't carry that 7-game win streak into the break. They had to, of course, lose that game.
So what
on
do they got?
Saturday.
About 18 games left, the Red Wings?
Well, what's their record? They have 61 points. What do they got?
Kenny tweeted it out the other day, Tommy. Check Kenny's Twitter. I'll check it for you.
Okay, I'll do that live.
I'll
on
check
the
it.
air.
No, I'll check. I said I'll check it for you. Sorry, buddy.
I got it.
Wait, so they're 28, 22, and 5, so they played 55 games.
27 games left.
Yeah, they got
27 games
27
left.
games left. 12 home, 15 road.
And they are in the postseason
Right
now if the season
Them and
ended.
Ottawa are the two wild cards. The two teams that haven't made the playoffs in eons.
Boy, I feel like the Lightning, I thought the Lions, the Red Wings were in the third spot for a half a minute.
Yeah, they only lost one game, and now they're only a few
But
points
they're still
back.
5 points out of the spot now.
5 points out.
That's
Tommy, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah,
Is
I love
the ice for the in-season tournament, is it Olympic ice, or are we still sticking with the NHL ice?
No, I don't think they're going to change the ice in these rinks. Montreal has their ice, and Boston has their
The
ice.
ice is the ice.
The ice is the ice. It's
I was
NHL.
just curious. Yeah.
It's NHL style.
The ice is the ice.
So it should be fun.
Yeah, they have different ice, Ricky. Like Olympic ice is longer and wider than the
Right.
NHL.
Oh, I was
ice.
thinking of thickness.
Speaking of ice, my pops went down to that duel in the D to watch Michigan got slaughtered. But
Yeah.
pops went to that, man. He said it was super cool.
MSU is tough this year,
I
man.
said, "This your first hockey game?"
I watched Saturday night's game.
I feel like they're tough every year, but to your point, this team looks a little different. Like this time, it looks a little
Michigan
different.
State is going to be in the Frozen Four. I don't know if Michigan will be, but Michigan State, you can guarantee, will be in the Frozen Four. They're playing that in St. Louis in April.
Hey, little NBA action. Pistons, Dennis Schroeder going to lace
Yeah.
them up tomorrow, right?
Schroeder's got a shot. He played yesterday a few times. Number 17 he's wearing.
17?
I tell you, Friday night's
Oh,
game.
wait, you were there yesterday.
Yeah,
How
and
was
Friday.
it?
And Friday. It was
You
great.
love going to the Pistons
I'm
games.
loving it. I'm going to go to most of the rest of the home games.
What do you like about it so much?
I just love this team. I love the way they play. They hustle. They play hard. And I love watching Cade. I love watching Duran, how he's getting better. I'll tell you what, man. Malik Beasley is something to watch.
Yeah.
Malik Threesley is something to watch. Hardaway Jr. can shoot. It's a good team, man. It's a good team. They got a good core now, Bray. And they're missing Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I told you I went down there last Friday as well, man. I had the same, response as you. The energy is good there. They pay attention.
Up 34 on Friday.
Both sides of the court, man. They put the effort in and they let you know that they care. JB Bickerstaff, man. He and his staff. It's energy there. People are excited, and you know that they're gonna win. It's a different atmosphere when you know your team is going to win or you believe your team has a good chance to win. Energy is positive.
Yeah.
Spirits are good. Spirits are probably flowing in a different way. So
They played two bad teams, but they beat them.
True, but
And the two before that, they lost on buzzer beaters.
and like you always tell me, you got to beat the teams in front of you. So they're doing a much better job of that.
And they had some great stuff. Cade Cunningham, of course, going to the All-Star game first time. They had some gear in the I'm always going in the store, although I never buy anything.
Right.
I go in the store every single
Just
time.
want to check it out.
That's just the way I am as a fan. No matter what arena I'm going to, I go to the store first. Walk around, everything is like $100. T-shirt, $99. But they got the Cade Free Press front page. I almost bought it for Braylon. My daughter talked me out of it. She said, he ain't going to wear that tat. He's not going to wear that tat.
I would have worn it.
It was white with the newspaper print on it. There's the All-Star teams. Let's put these up. This is the new way they're playing the All-Star game.
And they're doing this this
Yeah,
year.
Team Chuck, Team Kenny, and Team Shaq. You
Three
can see
teams?
Team Kenny has got Cade Cunningham on it. So what do you think of those teams there, Braylon?
I'm trying to see the team LeBron's on. Usually LeBron always pulls.
He's with Steph.
Yeah, it's with
And that's what I was just about to say. He always pulls Steph onto his squad, and they typically doesn't lose. Yeah, Jaylen Brown, AD and LeBron reunited. That's gonna be interesting.
AD's not going to play.
True, but he'll still be.
He got hurt.
LeBron James, James Harden,
And
Kevin
Jason
Durant,
Tatum.
Anthony
Yeah.
Davis, Steph Curry, Jaylen Brown. There's the squad.
So he's got
Damian
the
Lillard,
best-
Jason Tatum.
He's got the best shooters. He's got rim protect. He's got KD. Yeah, they cheat every year. For
AD's
LeBron.
going to be out a month. He got hurt on his first game back, and he was dominating on Saturday afternoon, and he got hurt. Got knocked out of that game.
I laughed because my girl's father came over on Saturday, on Friday, playing some cards, playing some spades, and we talked about that deal. And they said, he's always hurt. You know me, here I am. I do a sports show, so let me educate these individuals. I said, well, actually, in the last 3 years, he's averaging 70 games or so. So I believe this was the right time to make that move. Then at halftime, I sent him a tweet. I sent him a text. I'm like, I thought it was gonna be a bad trade when he had 23 at the half, 13 rebounds.
What's Charles call them? Street clothes?
Don't you know they text me right back? Literally like 15 minutes. They said, "What happened to your boy?" What? I didn't know he got hurt. So
Yeah. Chuck calls them street clothes.
Yeah, because
Did you see Max Crosby yesterday tweeting about the Pistons?
No.
Pete, you got that?
I do.
This is Max Crosby, unabated.
So dope to see the Pistons balling again. Been too damn long.
Bring Max home.
I mean,
I think that's the silent move. I think there's so much going on with the Miles thing. I think this is what's under the radar being worked on.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you'd keep a player like that. Why you'd keep a player like that. I mean, you have the opportunity, you have the ability to build draft capital. Yeah. The way to make your team better, the way to get good quickly is to accumulate draft picks and select good players with those picks. That's how you get good quickly in this league.
Yeah. Like if they had a quarterback that was on the level of Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, something along those lines, fine, keep him figured out. But you got Aiden O'Connell as your quarterback, and there's not a lot of good quarterbacks out there. Let him go.
And you know what? Maybe you burn. Maybe you have another bad year. So you can get into that good quarterback crop next year.
Chicago did 2 years in a row.
If you suck next year and get a top 3 pick next year, too, and then you've got all this, you could get good. One more bad season, you could get good real quick with all that draft capital. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow?
No, this weekend.
13th? What day is today?
I thought the 17th. I could be wrong.
I think the full squad is the 17th.
Oh, are they?
Pitchers and catchers on the 13th. What day is today?
10th.
Okay. I'm excited for the Tigers this year. I am.
Doesn't sound like they're going to get Alex Bregman.
He might as well just not even go anywhere.
The more I hear Scott Harris talk, the less I think he's coming here.
But where's he going?
I don't know. Maybe he'll go back to Houston.
1 year deal?
Couple of years.
What the hell
Japanese
is he?
league?
Seriously, fine. Scott Boras really screwed that up.
I think he butchered it.
Yeah, I do.
He butchered it.
I think he butchered it. So we'll see.
Did you see the video that Tigers put out today? The feel-good video to get you ready for the season?
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what I love the most? I love to hear Josh.
Lewis, or not Josh.
Help me.
Landon.
What's his name?
No, who's my
The
Tiger
Tigers
announcer?
Benintendi.
Jason
Benetti. No.
Jason Benetti.
Jason Benetti. Thank you. We got it all mixed up.
Josh.
But to hear Jason Benetti
Frank.
and
Josh
how good
Lewin.
he
Josh
was.
Lewin?
Yeah, Jason Benetti was great last year, and it's great to hear him. I'm looking so forward to hearing him and Dan Dickerson again. It's I'm so ready for baseball right now. Please bring it on. I wish I could get down to spring training.
Voice of the turtle.
Wish I could.
I don't want to see any video that Alex Bregman isn't in. So
there you go.
Voice of
Good
the
job,
turtle.
buddy. Get us out of here.
Dynamite dropping.
Dynamite dropping. Thanks for that, Brad.
Appreciate you guys tuning in to the show today. I know Sunday was a little tough watching these Eagles host the trophy, but now it's time for us to figure out how the Lions can get back to potentially putting themselves in the same situation next year. It's going to be a fun week. Tune in to us, man. Ricky, hell of a job by you, Pete.
Ricky, good job, baby.
Maz on the phone.
We got to get you more involved tomorrow, baby. We need those hot takes.
We'll find, just jump in. We'll find that rhythm.
I got you.
Hot
just jump
takes.
in. A lot of hot air going on up here with me. Ryan, see you tomorrow.
You got it.
See you guys mañana.